Hello, this is my presentation on should minimum wage be decided on a state or federal level. Minimum wage was first introduced to the U.S. in 1938. It was to assist in helping to stabilize the economy after the Depression and also helping the workers on the workforce. It was first signed into law by President Roosevelt under the Fair Labor Standards Act. What branch of government controls minimum wage? Federal, state, and sometimes even local governments can decide the minimum wage, but it is set by the U.S. labor law and other state and local laws. Issues and laws associated with the minimum wage should be a state affair due to the closer relations states have with the people of the area. There are overlapping rates between federal, state, and local minimums. Since July 24th, 2009, the federal minimum wage is $7.25. If there is conflicting wages, the worker is entitled to being paid the highest possible minimum wage. Originally, the power fell to both state and national, making it a concurrent power. States have the power to regulate in-state commerce, therefore making minimum wage also a state power. Minimum wage is never specifically talked about in the Constitution, but it is still considered federal, however, because of the Commerce Clause. It affects national markets, therefore putting it under the Commerce Clause, so Congress has the power to raise or decrease the minimum wage. In the famous case of West Coast Hotel Company versus Parrish of 1937, the Supreme Court ruled in favor that minimum wage is constitutional and a necessity to protect the welfare of workers. What states follow the federal minimum wage? Only 19 states actually follow the federal minimum wage, and 6 have no minimum wage at all, and the other 25 pay what they see fit on a state level. Many of the states have a different standard of a minimum wage, so that's why they keep it on a federal level. Each state's government is closer to the state than the national government, and a $7.25 minimum may be adequate in some rural states such as Alabama or Georgia, but compared to California or New York, it's nearly cut in half. If the federal government were to increase the federal minimum wage altogether, smaller states will also have to abide by those, and it could do more harm than good. People sometimes confuse minimum wage and living wage. They are not the same. People cannot survive on a minimum wage, which is why it should be a state's job to try and assist them in any way they can. A nationwide increase in minimum wage might not be a good thing for everyone, and this is why. So, on paper, a nationwide increase may sound like a really good thing. I mean, who wouldn't want more money? But this may not always be the case. If the government were to end up increasing the minimum, then not every state will be able to benefit from it. There's a reason why 19 states follow the federal minimum wage. That minimum wage is good for those specific states. There has already been an instance where the minimum wage was increased. In 2007, American Samoa was affected by the U.S. government's increase in the minimum wage. It was in good intention, but that's not what happened. It just ended up destroying businesses. Industry leader Chicken of the Sea had to close, and another company, Starkist, had to lay off a large portion of their workforce. Increasing the overall minimum wage could have unseen issues down the road, which is why states should manage the minimum wage. Each state has different living conditions, which is why each state government is the best entity to control how much they pay. And that's my works cited. Thank you.